Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is going to be my review for episode 3 of She-Hulk.
In every generation, there is chosen one girl in all the world. She alone will review the movies, TV shows, and books of geek culture. I am the chosen girl.
So the episode opens up with Jen confronting Emil Blonsky about how he escaped from prison, and Emil says that he was forced to break out by Wong, and then Jen's friend Nikki is looking up Wong's employment history, and it says he worked at Target for 9 years, which in Carmitage. So I just thought that was kind of funny. I could totally see Wong working at a Target. I just think that's great. So I love Wong. Wong is great in this episode. We'll talk about him a little bit more later. So then we get Jen's former co-worker from the first 2 episodes, Dennis, who is suing a shape-shifting light elf from New Asgard because she was impersonating Megan Thee Stallion, and he thought he was dating the real Megan Thee Stallion. I think it's interesting that they have shape-shifting light elves in New Asgard. I didn't think we knew that before about New Asgard. There's a lot of Asgard, Thor kind of references in this episode, which is a lot of fun. The light elf's name is Runa, and she kind of is going around impersonating people and being a prankster throughout the whole episode. So she's kind of fun, kind of annoying, but I really like the look of her. She looks like a prankster kind of elf, and I thought that was kind of a lot of fun. She impersonates Dennis, and she impersonates the other lawyer, and then the judge, and she's just pranking everybody. But then she gets caught, and so she actually gets sentenced to prison or something for 6 months for pretending to be a judge or something like that. But she was kind of a fun character, and yeah, it's really kind of interesting to introduce this sort of new type of being of these shape-shifting light elves. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Loki, how he could shapeshift and stuff. And then she does make a quote from Thor and Odin from Thor Ragnarok. She says, Asgard is not a place, it is a people. And then I love the judge is Thor's speeches are not admissible in court. That was kind of fun. So the whole trial scene with Dennis versus the light elf impersonator was kind of just a funny kind of B storyline that I think just kind of delves a little bit deeper into the world and how everybody's dealing with all of these superpowered beings and people and stuff, and how it affects the legal system and the justice system and everything. And so I thought that was kind of fun. And then Jen gets called in to be a witness against Dennis, and she kind of basically just calls him out on all his douchebagness, because he is. And I like that that's what ends up winning them the case. So that was kind of fun too. And I did Pug. They keep calling him Pug, who's the lawyer that's representing Dennis. He had one scene in the second episode, but he's got quite a few scenes in this episode. And I really liked his character. I thought he was kind of an interesting lawyer type character to go along with Jen. And also, he's the opposite of Dennis, who was also a lawyer too. So I liked Pug. I hope we get a little bit more of him going forward. So I like the Law and Order type of aspect of the show. I think that's a lot of fun. It's cool to see people versus people with superpowers and things. And so I kind of like incorporating that lawyer aspect of Jen into the show and not just being all about She-Hulk. So Wong shows up and tells Jen that he broke Blonsky out of prison because he needed a worthy opponent as part of his training for Sorcerer Supreme. And I like that he keeps telling people he's the Sorcerer Supreme as if they know what that means, or if it just gives him power to do whatever he wants. He's just I'm the Sorcerer Supreme. Let Blonsky go. But that doesn't really work. And then he does mention erasing people's memories, which of course happened in Spider-Man No Way Home. And he mentions the mirror dimension and the shadow dimension from the Doctor Strange movies. So those are kind of just some fun little shout outs to kind of reference other Marvel projects, because I think we all love Wong and he's always fun to see. And Wong shows up at the parole hearing to testify for Blonsky. And he mentions that, he took him, but that it was Blonsky's choice to return to prison, which kind of goes a long way with the parole board. And I love when the parole board tells Wong that, he committed a crime by helping a prisoner escape, and Wong's just like, I must depart. And then he makes a little portal and just walks right through. He's like, I don't have time for non-magical laws and whatnot. I'm the Sorcerer Supreme. I gotta go deal with Wanda and stuff. I don't got time for this. I thought that was pretty fun. He's just like, I'm out. He's not gonna deal with with the crime of breaking Blonsky out. So Wong was great in this episode. I love Wong. I hope we're gonna see more. There was a scene in the trailer where he mentions the Book of Ashanti. I don't know if that was cut out of this episode. It looks like it could have been, or if he's gonna pop up again. I hope he pops up again. I would love to see more of his character. He's always fun. I love every time he pops up. And then also at the parole board, we get to see Blonsky's 7 soulmates that are these older women all dressed in these white gowns and little flower wreaths on their heads and stuff. And they're just swooning over him all the time. And even when he turns into Abomination, they're still swooning over him. And these are the people that he's gonna get released to and go live with. So that was kind of fun because he mentioned it in the second episode. He's got these 7 soulmates he met through the Pen Pal prisoner program or something. So that was kind of a fun callback. And then Blonsky turns into the Abomination, and then everybody freaks out. But he does it just to prove that he can control the Abomination. He can control the monster. He is still Blonsky. He's kind of Smart Hulk and She-Hulk. He's in control. And so that's kind of interesting. So I still don't fully trust Blonsky. I know a lot of rumors he might be in the Thunderbolts or something. I'm not sure how that's going to work because at the end of this, the parole board says he has to wear an inhibitor that Bruce wore at the beginning of the first episode of She-Hulk. And so if Blonsky's wearing this inhibitor and can't become the Abomination, I don't know how that will work if he ends up on the Thunderbolts or what's going to go on there. Also, I think this confirms a maybe possible continuity error. It confirms that Wong did break Abomination out to be in that fight that we see in Shang-Chi. But at the end of Shang-Chi, Bruce is in human form and has his arm in a sling. But now in She-Hulk, he's in Smart Hulk form and he cured his arm. And so I'm not sure if maybe Wong has been breaking Blonsky out multiple times before Bruce fixed his arm, or if that's just a little bit of continuity error. Because it does look like in Shang-Chi, it looks like Wong was maybe training Blonsky for something. So I'm not sure if he broke him out for multiple fights or whatever, and that's just old footage. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I don't know what the timeline is. I wish the shows and the movies would be a lot more clear with where everything is and the timeline, because when you do get little things like this, it really starts to either become a continuity error or just make things really confusing. So I don't know. We'll see. But I do love Jen being a lawyer and representing Blonsky, and also on the witness stand. She's great in this episode. She's always great. Tatiana Maslany is amazing in the show. And there's a few mentions from the news reporters that are gathered around the prison thing of, they throw out some things, and then one of the rumors is that She-Hulk was rejected from the Avengers, which is again kind of interesting because again we don't really know what's going on with the Avengers. Is it just Sam Wilson as Captain America and that's it, or we don't know what the lineup of the Avengers is. I mean, from Falcon and the Winter Soldier, it looked like there was no Avengers team, right? Wanda's not on the Avengers. Benedict Cumberbatch said Doctor Strange is not an Avenger. I mean, maybe Ant-Man and the Wasp are still on the team with Sam Wilson. I don't know. So, that, I just think that's kind of a funny rumor that, she got rejected by the Avengers, but it's well, who are the Avengers? We still don't know. Who the new team is and where the Avengers stand, post Endgame and stuff. So I just thought that was kind of a funny rumor. I also like the end scene where she's like on the news talking with like the news reporter and like saying like she didn't choose the She-Hulk name, and I thought that was kind of funny. He's like, coming back, we'll go over She-Hulk's diet and exercise routine, and she's like, wait, what? That was kind of funny. So I really loved Jen in this episode. I think she was great, and I like her kind of dealing with this whole media circus of being the She-Hulk, right? So then at the end of the episode, Jen gets attacked by, I think they're calling them the Wrecking Crew or something, and she like kind of freaks out at first, but then she realizes she's a Hulk, and so she hulks out and like she takes them out really easily, and she like asks them like, did you like rob a Asgardian construction worker? And I think one guy says like, yeah, which is kind of funny because they had like these weird like light up melee weapons or something, but she like takes them out really easily. But then it's revealed that they were hired by someone to get Jen's blood, so we don't know who this mystery boss is. There's somebody out there trying to get the Hulk's blood. Are they working for Titania? Is she going to come back as a villain? Or, could this be maybe the Kingpin, and maybe that's how we bring Daredevil into it? So it's kind of an interesting mystery to set up for the rest of the episodes. We'll see who this villain is. My guess is it might be Titania, just because they've already set her up in the first episode, and we know we're getting more of her. And maybe, she does have some superpowers, so maybe she wants more. I don't know. So that's kind of an interesting reveal. But I do like that she just like takes these four guys out like easily. So then of course we get the cameo of Megan Thee Stallion. And I gotta be honest, I'm not really familiar with her. I don't listen to her music. Not that it's bad or anything, it's just not, I don't listen to it. So I don't really know who she is. But I know that it was like a big cameo. And I kind of like how they used her as the cameo. Like they kind of keep saying like, the Light Elf was impersonating Megan Thee Stallion, and then like she's like in the courtroom, and the end credit scene was kind of fun. I like the end credit scene when She-Hulk gets like a little too intense, and Megan Thee Stallion's like, oh, whoa, ho, 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 dial it back a little bit. That was kind of fun. So it was a fun little cameo. So overall, I really liked this episode. I think it's a funny law show so far that I kind of was hoping for. The second episode was kind of didn't get me very excited for the show. This one definitely got me back on board. I think this episode sets up what the rest of the show is going to be like. After the first two episodes were really more just like set up to this episode, and this is what it's going to be like going forward. So I really like this episode again. Jen finally accepts that she is the She-Hulk, and that the media is not going to go away, and she's just not going to have a normal life like she wants to. And I do like her friend Nikki is like kind of like always encouraging her to like just embrace being the She-Hulk and how great it could be for her life and stuff. And so I think that's definitely going to be Jen's journey throughout the rest of the show. Because yeah, even though Jen is like already incorporated like with the Hulk body, like her consciousness is there, she hasn't actually like accepted the fate of like being a Hulk. And so I think that's kind of where she's gonna like start to change things around. She's gonna like fully embrace like the Hulk persona, and see like how good it could be for her life. I think that's where we're gonna go. So I'm really excited to see Jen's journey. It's very different from what Bruce had to go through, but I like that. I like having something different, and I think it's really more authentic to who the character is. Like she just wanted to be this normal lawyer, but now she's a Hulk, and how's she going to deal with that? So that's kind of interesting. And I do think we're going to get more cameos from the show, not just like Marvel characters like Daredevil and stuff. I think we might get some more celebrity cameos as well, because the show is supposed to be set in place in LA, so I think we could be getting more cameos, which could be really fun. So we'll see. So I love this episode. I'm really excited to see the rest of the show. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and come back next week for more Marvel reviews. I'm going to be doing my Thor review, posting hopefully on Monday, so come back for that. Also, if you want to help support the channel and a struggling writer, be sure to check the link down below. You could buy me a coffee. That would really help out. I could get more videos done. So be sure to check that out. Again, stay tuned to the channel. Right now I'm just kind of doing Marvel content because that's just what I'm into. But let me know if you want to see me do any other reviews. That'd be great. So thank you everybody for watching, and until then, I must depart. Bye.